About a year ago, I went to the dentist and they said everything was fine, but they did notice one thing, and they did say, Miko, do you mouth breathe? And I say, no, I breathe. I'm a little bit sick, but I do breathe through my nose. And they said, well, that doesn't make sense because according to our charts, we can tell somehow by your teeth structure. I don't know. Dentists just know. And they said, you must mouth breathe at night then, because I told them I breathe through my nose during the day. So, only makes sense, right? That I would breathe through my mouth at night. And they said, since you can't really control that, I recommend you to get mouth tape. I said, all right, sounds good. And that same night, I went to Walmart, picked up just a bunch of random mouth tape, whatever, and I tried it out. And I'm not going to lie, the first week I tried this, I really didn't like it. It was hard to fall asleep. I couldn't just get into the groove of things. It just felt like very claustrophobic kind of in a way. I don't know. I didn't like it. But the one thing I did notice is over time, I actually got used to it. And now I'm so far into it to the point where I've been using mouth tape for the past year. I'm so deep into it to the point where it doesn't matter. Like I have to have it no matter what. If I don't sleep with mouth tape, I sleep worse. I find it harder to sleep without mouth tape than with mouth tape. I would wake up and my mouth and my throat wasn't so dry like it used to be, which tells me I was obviously breathing like that the whole night because, that's gonna get all the moisture in your mouth out and just so dry. You know what I mean? You wake up and that's why first thing, oh my gosh, I need water because, your mouth is just so dry. But it seems like when I put the mouth tape on, I was fine. But the weird part is, even though during the day, for the most part, I would breathe through my nose without thinking about it, I would notice sometimes that I am breathing through my mouth, right? The weird part is, though, every single time I would put the mouth tape on at nighttime, even though your brain is, out of the way, right? You're asleep. I think me just having the mouth tape and breathing through my nose for an extra 8 hours a day subconsciously made me realize in the daytime when I am breathing through my mouth to stop it. And I went from like 90%, like I'd say about 90% of the time during the day, I didn't breathe through my mouth, I breathed through my nose. Now it's like 100% of the time. And I think it's literally it's weird because you're under asleep, right? You're asleep. So how would your brain know during the day to not do it? You know what I mean? Not to breathe through your mouth. But I think subconsciously it just hits you more. I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it honestly made me go from like 80 to 90% of the time breathing through my nose to like now it's like 100%, you know what I mean? And I do it at nighttime too. So now it's just a full, like there's never a minute that goes by where I'm breathing through my mouth. Unless obviously I'm working out, that's different. You shouldn't be one of those weirdos. A lot of people say, oh, well, you have to breathe through your nose all the time. If you're doing cardio, crazy cardio, yes, you're going to get a lot more oxygen through your mouth. So breathe. You know what I mean? You're not going to see any sprinter, right, that's going super fast. No. It's way harder, right? So in certain circumstances, I do think it's fine to breathe through your mouth. I'm just saying on a daily basis when you're not actively doing something very like exercise and stuff, breathe through your nose, okay? And it gets deeper than this because you may be wondering, well, why is it that big of a deal? Well, the dentist said, going back to the story, the dentist said, first of all, my teeth were somehow like getting crooked, I guess, or just like misaligning a little bit. And like, obviously it's not a big deal, but years and years and decades of this, they're like, it's going to be a big deal. And I was 19 at the time. They're like, you're 19, you're fine. But when you're 25, 35, 45, you're going to have crooked teeth again. You know what I mean? Because it just, I don't know. I guess I don't know. I think the logic actually is, I looked into this. The logic is because when you breathe through your mouth, your nose hairs, that's the point of nose hairs, right? It's to filter out the air, which sounds weird because it's just air, whatever. But air has a lot of germs, air has toxins, right? So when you breathe through your mouth, you're getting 100%, maybe not 100%, but it's not blocking out as much as your nose hairs would, right? So you're still getting in like 90% of the toxins, maybe 100% of the toxins, I'm not sure, when you breathe through your mouth. But when you breathe through your nose, it's like 70% or whatever. You know what I mean? It blocks out a lot of the air, a lot of the toxic air. So overall, you're better. That is a big reason why, though, you should breathe through your nose. And I'm telling you, mouth tape will make it so much easier. You think you're good during the day. You don't know at nighttime, though. You don't know what you do at nighttime. I didn't know. I thought I was breathing through my nose the whole time during the night. Turns out I wasn't, because I guess my dentist could tell. And got some mouth tape. You know what I mean? Saved me a lot. Okay. And it's more than teeth. It's more than your teeth getting, it's more, right, than your teeth just getting misaligned or whatever over like decades. Okay, because that's not that bad when you think about it. Makes your breath stink a lot. You know what I mean? A lot more if you breathe through your mouth. Do not, if you're going on a date, yeah, if you like talking to women, if you don't want to smell like hot crap, doo-doo all day, breathe through your nose. And it's weird because the more you breathe through your nose, the more oxygen you can get over time. I know that doesn't make any sense, but your breath's like, if you breathe through your mouth, right, you try to take a breath through your nose, right, it's going to be short. You can't go, like I said, I'm sick, but you can't. It's hard to do that. I promise you, it is hard. If you actively, because I used to be a mouth breather and never realized it. If you actively breathe through your mouth, it's so hard it feels like you're suffocating. Like you can do it like twice and then you're like, oh my, it's because you haven't trained your nose to breathe the right way. A lot of people don't know how to breathe. They think there's like a lot of the stuff that you do on a daily basis, you think it's just common sense. Your brain knows how to do it. There is a right and wrong way to breathe, and breathing through your nose is the right way. Breathing through your mouth is the wrong way. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people still breathe through their mouth and they don't even know it's totally messing them up. Teeth structure, bad breath, another reason why it's messing you up. Another big reason it's going to mess you up is your facial symmetry, okay? Over time, if you look at the face of just a nose breather and a mouth breather, like long term, obviously if you mouth breathe, if you mouth breathe for a little bit, don't worry, okay? But if you're 50 years old, this is what I mean. Like, it's going to drastically affect you. So hopefully you catch on when you're younger rather than older so you can take, care of it. But when you do mouth breathe for so many decades, the structure of your face changes, which I know it sounds crazy. How does that even work? Same thing with sleeping. Did you know that if you sleep on a certain side, left or right or whatever, over time, your face will change, okay? Which is why I always say sleep on your back. That's a different point. But same thing with breathing. Over time, if you breathe through your mouth too much, it's going to make your face longer. It's hard. I can't exactly say what it's going to do to your face, but simply Google mouth breather face versus nose breather face. Two different, right? And everybody's born with a normal, well, not everybody. Most people are born with a normal face, but over time it messes it up because they've been mouth breathing, but nobody tells them this. Their parents don't tell, because who knows about this stuff? You know what I mean? There's never been a class in my school where I learned how to breathe. That was never a thing. My parents never said this. Nobody. The dentist was the one that finally, after all these years, pointed it out. You may be a mouth breather, right? And maybe I was doing it during the day. You like to think, oh, I know I'm not a mouth breather. Maybe you were, though. Because if you were doing it at night, maybe you were doing it during the day. I don't know. Maybe I just said that because I thought I was, but you never think about it, right? You're never actively thinking, oh, shoot, am I breathing correctly? No. It's something your brain does automatically. So you don't ever really know. So there's a very good chance that when she said, hey, do you breathe through your nose during the day? Maybe I didn't. You know what I mean? But Even just breathing, because you have to think you're asleep for 1/3 of your life. So if every single night you go to sleep and you're breathing through your mouth, even if you do breathe through your nose, you don't know if you're breathing through your mouth at night. That's 1/3 of your life. You don't think that's going to drastically change your teeth structure, your face structure, breath, all this stuff? It will. It very sure will. Maybe not to the extent if it's 24/7, but still going to make a change. 1/3 of your life is a lot. So why would you go 1/3 of your life doing something that you don't even know if you do it or not? You may as well get the mouth tape. And this isn't sponsored by anybody, but I'm saying mouth tape is such a game changer because it ensures that you're going to breathe through your nose, right? It's not like try our best. No, it sticks, right? Sticks to your mouth. There's no way you're going to breathe through your mouth. Okay? It completely sticks to it. So much to the point, actually, when I wake up, I have these little black pieces. It's so sticky. I have to wash it off with water. It's kind of annoying, but that tells me it works, right? And I can 100% tell the difference. Because when you wake up, your mouth isn't feeling so dry. It's more than that. It's just the overall long-term effects. So anyway, I want to make this video just to talk about mouth breathing, my experience with it, how using, tape over my mouth has simply worked. They're pretty cheap as well. Yeah, I think you can get a 30 pack for $10, $15. Probably not that much. I don't know. $5? Okay. Anyways, I clearly need to find a better spot to put my camera, but I'm going to end it off with that for today. So, yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.